and you're very welcome to episode 44 of the Take a Pull podcast with Andy Cummins and Declan Carroll. Back from a very slight hiatus. Not usually we take a little longer than a week off, but needs must sometimes. With the Punchestown Festival on the horizon as well, Dec, and obviously the flat season as well, we're coming to you with Bellewstown and Wexford this week. But first of all, Dec, how are you and how are you getting on?
I'm good. It can be a difficult time of year, to find winners because it's kind of a transition with the jump horses. You have the good ground horses coming in, and we haven't got proper good ground yet. No. I know you were saying Tipperary was late yielding today, but it's still quite dead ground. Yeah. And a lot of them you'll find as you're going through the cards have been off since last summer or last autumn anyway. So a lot of them will be taking a run. It might take us a couple of weeks, but then we're back into Punchestown and
where we don't miss. It's a big festival we won't miss.
No, so. It's all on you. You're the big festival man.
Absolutely. No, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're aiming to cover every single race from Punchestown. Probably, I'm right, Dec, saying over 3 podcasts. Probably. We're probably gonna need that.
Yeah, we're probably gonna do the grade 1s on Tuesday on Sunday night.
Yeah.
On Tuesday we'll do Wednesday and Thursday. And then on Thursday night we'll do Friday and Saturday. Just the handicaps and the 34 cross country races and the 56 bumpers.
Yeah, and look forward to talking about Enniskillen and who are they? Mtada Supreme. They never retire. I'm just assuming. Where's Mtada Supreme? He's probably getting his feelings that he needs to run a cross country race or two. Thoroughly looking forward to the Punchestown Festival. I think it's going to be a brilliant festival. And just speaking of a quick touch on Willie Mullins. How awesome is that? What he's doing, going for the British Trainers Championship? That's so cool, isn't it? It's an unbelievable achievement.
Brilliant! It's great for the tracks. Like it's great for Fosslas to have a run Ludlow tomorrow. No, I'm not really sure he's doing. What did he take on $4,000?
$4,000. Yeah, it's $4,000 closer, I suppose. And it'd be probably the similar for Daddy Longlegs.
It's maybe like a lap of honour, though, is he? It's just bring the horses.
But even the comments from some of the clerks of the course is saying how it's an honour for to be hosting such a small stage in the Trainers Championship. But it is brilliant, and like Ludlow is usually well attended as well, and they'll give him a good send off as well. It's fantastic.
It does say a lot about the prize money in Britain that you can win so few races and win it, and he's won $4,000. You can't win $4,000 in Ireland. $6,000 is the minimum you can win. What did it cost to get there the other day?
Yeah, that's a valid point. Now, obviously, Fosslas I think is one of the more accessible tracks if you are traveling, but you're still traveling though. So it would very much depend. But it's still great. You could probably even think Willie Mullins probably thinking of trying to have a winner at every track in the UK. Maybe as well, he can just sneakily tick off Fosslas and Ludlow now this week, which also helps. Look, we'll get into the racing anyway, Dec. As I said, Bellewstown is the first race course that we're coming to. I think Bellewstown and Wexford both making their podcast debuts in top 44.
Did we not get a Wexford in?
No, Wexford, I swear to God, has been cancelled about 3 times, and every time we tried to cover it, it's been definitely covered. We've attempted to cover it more than once, and it's been unraceable for virtually the whole season. They lost their 2 biggest race days, the October bank holiday, and they also lost Patrick's Day as well. So it's been a tough year for the track. Yeah. And hopefully they can have a nice run at it with some good crowds over the summer. But no, I'm almost certain we haven't covered Wexford, Dec, unfortunately. Look, we'll get straight into it anyway with Bellewstown, which is, as we were talking about, a hurdles only track. Obviously, quite a unique track as well. It can really favour specialists.
Quite famous for
all sorts of yellow salmon, Barney Curley, and some great stories around Bellewstown, which are well worth looking up if you're not astute to them. But we're here to cover the 2024 Bellewstown, not the Bellewstown from back in the day with phone boxes and whatnot. And the first race is the veterinary clinic Rat Oath Maiden Hurdle. This is probably a penalty kick for Pinot Gris, Dec. Usually a rating of 117 would usually win you a maiden hurdle at this time of year. Placed form in 2 of his 3 starts and 4th the other time in what's turning out to actually be a relatively decent maiden hurdle that was run at Gowran Park. Is there anything in here that stops him?
Well, the thing about Pinot Gris, he's been third, fourth, and third in maidens, and he hasn't really pushed on. Like, he was third to Fratas early on in the season, but he's beaten about 16 lengths. And I held Fratas in high regard, but she's obviously quite difficult to train. But I expected Pinot Gris to come out and win the next time out. He was only fourth, and then he's third after that. So he's let the form down, and I think he could have a bit of trouble here. And it's very interesting. This horse, Tell Nobody Nothing, Philip Rothwell. He's oh, sorry, no,
that's No Maid.
Tell no, yeah, No Maid. Actually, a homebred by Bonnie Kate. Bonnie Kate, I think, went off favourite for the Irish Grand National.
She did, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Bonnie Kate. By Diane. Look, I don't know about Tell Nobody Nothing yet, but I think Pinot Gris is there to be shot at, and this horse coming here with a nice jumps pedigree. I'm not going to have a bet. I'm not even sure what price the horse is, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if this horse has plenty of ability.
Yeah, no, probably one for down the future for sure. Like Bonnie Kate, she did enjoy tough ground as well, didn't she? I think she won a graded chase, a mare's graded chase at Limerick as well. And obviously she ran in the same colours. The thing about Pinot Gris is he is a flatbred. And now that the ground, like the current ground at the moment in Bellewstown, is yielding, so you would just wonder that maybe some of these horses that are coming off the flat, especially ones with experience, there could be a lot more improvement given that he's going to be encountering quicker ground. African Lady by Australia as well for the Noel and Valerie Morning. Interestingly, with Gavin Cromwell, that one.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a interesting trainer there for those connections. And Nakasama as well by National Defence, who was a very quick horse. He was trained in France, I think. And yeah, like he's obviously, they've been probably waiting for quick ground for him. Now with Noel Kelly after being trained by James McCauley, I think probably running a few of those maidens or claimers up in Dundalk. But he could be an interesting one going hurdling, despite not remotely being bred for it. I still think Pinot Gris is the one to beat, though, Dec. Tell Nobody Nothing, though, as you said, with that pedigree, as you rightly said, could be one that is the one maybe to follow throughout the summer and maybe even into the winter, because it's rare enough you see a horse by Diane out of a mare who was so good as she got better or as she got older. Bonnie Kate debuting as a 4-year-old and going straight over hurdles. It's quite an interesting entry. And it'd be, he'd definitely be one to keep a close eye on.
No, I was a big fan of Bonnie Kate as well. So
I know you were, yeah. You were a devil for those No Maid pink colours, actually. You were a Patchy Stronghold. Who else was there? A few great
she
horses.
fell in the Irish Grand National, but she went off, if not favourite, pretty close to being favourite.
There was another one. There was a Patchy Stronghold, and there was another one that always that really real strong traveller. Paul Carver used always at Monksland. Yeah, very very powerful traveller. Yeah, no, great colours. Anyway, Boyle Sports Handicap Hurdle next 80 to 109. You're probably going to be a little more at home here, Dec, than you might have been in the last race. As said to you on a text message, I think this is a race you're going to be able to follow blind going into the summer. There's so many unexposed horses in here. You'd want to be a brave person to call this one. It's about 5 to 1 the field now, with Herculeum, I think, is the favourite, who's had a very consistent form. But who do you like here,
Dec? I am finding this quite difficult. Magic Ollinger is a reserve. If she wasn't, I might fancy her a bit more strongly. I'm not sure she was off on her second.
I catch her.
Yeah,
I catch her for sure.
Yeah. The winner has followed up. Miss Gherkin has won again the other day. She was dropped a pound, but she is a reserve. If she gets in, she becomes massive interest. But of the guaranteed runners, Run for Harry, 7 lengths third off this park at Nace. Not sure about dropping back in trip though. I'm not sure where that's coming from. It's not where I'd have been doing. And tell us this, he was well handicapped. Well held on a handicap the last day. Does need to jump better, but that was his handicap debut, so you wouldn't, you could see a massive improvement. But look, I'm not really strong on too much. You're right. Like, it's probably a race you can you can watch more so, and you can follow them through the summer. And now the top weight there, 5-year-old mare Tea Garden Jazz, owned by David. Like she's going to, I reckon, as she goes on through the summer, she's she's been off 15 months with a bit of a confidence boost. Tomorrow, the back end of the summer, she'll be a lot stronger, and I'd say she'll be winning races then. So she's one I'll definitely be keeping an eye on. But look, I would be keen on Magic Ollinger, but with her not guaranteed a run, I'd have it between Run for Harry and Tell Us This, but I wouldn't be overly strong on them.
Yeah, going back to Tea Garden Jazz, I would like most of these horses that have that have been coming off the flat. A lot of her best form was on decent ground, and her best run over hurdles was on decent ground at Cork as well. Only not touched off, but like beaten by Blood Destiny, which in the relative to this race is pretty decent form off 109. I would expect maybe an improved effort from her on better ground, and she probably is a little bit better value than the defeated margin suggests. Last time out, she made a pretty bad mistake, I think, at the second last or maybe third last. But you might remember, Dec, this is the first time I think a horse was tipped on a tap beforehand, and it's going to be tapped on tipped on the very next tap. Because on tap 43, I actually did tip Run for Harry at Naas, and he ran quite well. I thought he travelled a little too well, and maybe just didn't quite get home. Maybe that's why they're coming back in trip. But I did say the Champs-Élysées, I thought he'd improve for better ground. Now, it was still soft ground at Naas that day, but it was definitely his best run over hurdles so far. He's kind of encountered better ground, I believe, for the first time in quite a long time. I think he might have had a run or two on better ground as a very young horse, but this is his first time in a handicap on decent ground. Keith Dunn, who's going to take the ride, I say they're going to smuggle him into the race. Despite this looking like a strong race, I really fancy him. What I would actually be worried about the most is the 8-day layoff. Obviously, the race could come a little bit too soon, but he was a very powerful traveller, jumped well, and I think he bumped into two nice horses last time out. So I would definitely take a chance on Run for Harry. He'll be winning races this summer, but and there probably will be easier opportunities than this one, but he is a horse that's definitely coming into form, and I think of 105 that mark can be exploited here. You're going to stay on the fence here, Dec, or are you going to?
I'd have to side with Run for Harry now. Look, I'd have it. Look, I'd have it between Run for Harry and Tell Us This, but if you're fancying Run for Harry, I'll go that way too. But if Magic Ollinger gets a run, definitely becomes of interest.
Yeah, and there's every chance you very much could. Moving on to the 555, the Good Enough to Eat Catering Mares Handicap Hurdle. Top weight rated 118 here in instant attendance for Gordon Elliott and Jack Kennedy. Your favourite's going to be Joyle Cor Allen, who it's probably fair to say she's been disappointing that she hasn't been able to win yet and has been beaten at short odds, Dec. Do you think she can make amends here, or would you fancy something else? Surely something else. You're looking down the field there.
I don't know. Off this mark of 109, like she was 16 lengths third to Spindleberry in January, and that's looking good form now with Spindleberry finishing second to Jay de Grugy in the Grade 1 at Faraday House. Her jump debut has produced plenty of winners. This is her handicap debut though, and I do like them to have a run, but I think she's on the same mark as Picture of You here. She did beat Picture of You by 4 lengths in one of her maidens, and there was £3 between them. I do think she could be tough to beat. I'm not sure there's too much lurking in here. Instant Tendons has to give her £9. She was second to Lady Bluebird in a bumper on New Year's Eve. Lady Bluebird won really well at Down Royal 2 weeks ago. Got a great ride. She won in Mary's Maiden last month before she was second on her handicap debut. She is up £2. I think she could find it tough against Joy Curran, but I have it between the two of them anyway. Not that that's too exciting, but I do think Joy Curran could be tough to beat. I like the third to Spindleberry. I think is good form, and she's receiving £9 from Instant Tendons. If she can hurdle on handicap debut, I think she'll take all the beating.
All right, very interesting. Look, there's one in here that I think we tipped maybe 2 or 3 pods ago. Grace Faraday. I'm just wondering, maybe was the ground just too testing at Limerick? Like I would say that meeting that took place at Limerick, I think that was the student race day. And the next meeting after that was cancelled. Now, obviously, Limerick would have been very keen to race as the student race. They would have been worth a lot of money to the track, given that students coming through the gate and whatnot. But it's very hard for me to think that that track was raceable that day. Now, that could mean that maybe your horse was bottomed out if you ran there, especially if it's only 13 days later. But that form behind Z-Band, who I thought ran a lot better than his finishing position, suggests that injury. He was trapped wide and he just didn't get any kind of run in the race. And I still think he's a horse that you can take going forward. Grace Faraday off 10 stone with Jay Cohn claiming 5. Like, he's probably threatening the actual minimum weight here. I don't know if you'd be able to run off 9 stone, whatever, 9 stone 9 or whatever. 9 stone 8. So
well, it depends what he can do.
It depends what he can do. Yeah,
he's not eating tonight anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look, if you forgive that run from Grace Faraday, and obviously this race could come a little bit too soon, but at the same time she is 14-1, and she was running into a little bit of form, and now she comes back and trip on slightly better ground, actually much better ground than what she encountered last time out. I think she's a fine double figure price to maybe hit the frame. A dead 8, I would hope the dead 8 stays, because I would like her to hit the top 3. There'll always be exchange places if you can, if you're inclined to bet on the exchanges, even if one does come out. But I would take her maybe at a double figure price. I just don't trust Joy Corallen at all. And Instant Tendons, as good form as she's in, it is plenty of weight to be given away, especially after getting beaten last time out. So I'd take a chance on Grace Faraday, and you'd be between the top ones in the market.
Within the top ones in the market, yeah. Look, I've spoken about Grace Faraday a lot on here, but I'll never get my money back, even if she loses tomorrow.
I'll give her, yeah, this is last chance saloon for sure.
Yeah, I deserve her. I just think the form behind Spindleberry and the form of our one of our mates, I think it was the fourth one. There's plenty of winners have come out of it. Yeah, she's probably better than we're giving her credit for,
Yeah, fair point.
I thought being a Jade DeGruchy man, now you'd have been all over that.
Yeah, look, you can. It depends what way you want to look at it, I suppose. But yeah, look, Jade DeGruchy, I think she's improved immensely. I don't know if she really came out of second gear until she ran at Cheltenham either. So it can get difficult to kind of follow that form. But no, that's a fair point. It's like when you're explaining, you're losing. That's what they say. Now moving on to the 6:30, the Connolly's Red Mills EBF auction maiden hurdle. Yeah, this is a bit of a guess up, I suppose. Dec, your favourite is going to be the Flying Bee, who's at around 13-8. She's had a good few chances already. But do you think she's the one to be with here, or would you be taking one with a little less experience, maybe, and a bit more unexposed?
First of all, Storm's End will be in the notebook, and I'll be looking forward to when he's transferred to Neil Mulholland and he has a second run in Britain for them. Then it'll be time to get the wheelbarrow out. But I think the most interesting horse in the race is Break the Boundary.
Right.
Break the Boundary. Recently purchased by Bernard Jackman, fan of the show, I believe. He was second in a Hunter's Chase, the Lifetime Ambition. Yeah.
I remember we were having a chat about this on the way home from where was it? We were in Kildare, weren't we? I think
we were. Yeah. We had a chat about it on the way home from the stud.
Kildangan,
yeah. Very, very interesting. But was 5 lengths ahead of Early Doors in there, like in second to Lifetime Ambition. Lifetime Ambition was, potential Gold Cup horse at one time. He had won a 5-year-old point to point, and the second has since finished third in the Market Raising Bumper.
Right. Okay.
Wasn't Britain are competitive in a wide open maiden hurdle? An unusual way to get to a maiden hurdle, having ran second in a Hunter Chase at Cork, but I think he could take the beating here.
Yeah, no, look, he posted an RPR of 124 on his first run under rules, as you said, in a Hunter Chase. Nothing to be, disappointed by, especially if you bought him at his first run for you. That was a pretty decent piece of form.
It's just an unorthodox route. If he doesn't run in the Hunter Chase, you probably, he could be favourite here. Yeah. Like
look, he
won a
didn't do
point to
anything.
point.
He didn't
He
do
was a
anything
fighter up.
wrong.
No, I know. It's just the
yeah.
fact you ran a hunter chase. You might look over him, but like you have to look at the form of the hunter chase. Look at the experience he's coming into a maiden hurdle with. Second to Lifetime Ambition, 5 lengths ahead of early doors. It's
if you translate that form back to hurdles, he's streets clear of these. I would actually you could make an argument off
early
if
doors
you're
win a Martin
taking.
Pipe.
He won a Martin Pipe once upon a time, did you? Mm. Did he win a Galway play? Or was he favourite for one? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if he. I'll have to double check that. Break the boundary. Look, if he can translate this form to hurdles, he's going to be very hard to beat. Obviously, he's by French Navy as well, of Marine Nationale fame, and out of an Azamor mare. So you'd be very confident that the better the ground, the better his chances as well, and with yielding in the description. I suppose your only worry would be might go down to the first couple and balloon him since he's been chasing. But I don't see how that's really an issue if the traditional route of going point to pointing as a 4-year-old and come back to hurdles like all the top trainers do it. So I wouldn't.
He's just running a point to point on the track.
He's just running a point to point at Cork, essentially. Absolutely.
Against like Lifetime Ambition, like he ran in Grade 1 novice chases.
Yeah.
Absolutely sure. Up on his chase debut at Down Royal, and like probably, did he run well in a beach or chase and just didn't get?
No, was he not? Was he not in having the time of his life in a Grand National and got cleaned out by a loose horse, or was he the loose horse that cleaned the horse out? Remember that? Was Lifetime Ambition, wasn't it?
No, it might be in the top of him. I just don't think he stays 3 miles well enough. Like I love him being a brilliant jumper. Did he go down?
He got ran down. He got ran down by the big dog, didn't he?
In the Tri-Town,
yeah. That was which was top draw form. The big dog went on and was going well in an Irish Gold Cup, and before he came down at that 2 out when they went.
Then he got really well in the entry national. Then
he did. Yeah, he was having the time of his life out there. I'm almost certain Lifetime Ambition caused carnage in that Grand National. I'll have to go back and check that. That's another thing to go back and check. But we'd be in agreement there, Dec. Break the boundary. James O'Sullivan, Philip Rothwell. He doesn't have he doesn't usually do the damage in maiden hurdles, Philip Rothwell. But this lad,
this time of year,
this could be a gilt edge opportunity for sure. We'll move on to the David McKeown A1 Generators handicap hurdle. Maybe you could get one of them for your business, Dec. I don't know if you need a generator or not. Probably not. But no. So we're moving on for the 80 to 95, 2.5 miles. Very competitive, unsurprisingly. And your favourite, by the looks, is going to be Off Wayland's Glory for Ian Donoghue, who's having a fantastic few weeks, actually. And I think another winner there last night at Tramore.
Won again with
Bellewstown, sorry. He's had 2 winners, I think, this week, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he has the favourite here, looking to follow up Off Wayland's Glory. Do you think he has a chance of following up, Dec?
Yeah, won quite comfortably. He did get £10 for it. And I do think he's going to be tough to beat. But if there is one that's going to beat him, I think it'll be Marty in the Quarry. He was third in a handicap hurdle for Ross O'Sullivan last March off 88. He's running here off 85. He was then well beaten at Nice. That was his last run for Ross. He ran a 2 point to point since joining Declan Quealy, and he was first and third. He's only a 6-year-old, £3 below that third last March. I think gives him a great chance. And the form Declan Quealy is in.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to get a decent price on a Declan Quealy horse with an Irish bookmaker for a long time after what went down at Limerick there last week. Holy mother God.
Limerick and Ballina.
Yeah, bloody hell. Clean them out. And this is why this lad's only 11 to 2. Probably they're taking 0 chances. First time tongue tie as well there for Murray in the Quarry. I'd be sticking with Off Wayland's Glory to follow up. She looked like that everything that just kind of clicked into place for Ian's already proven this season with St. Denis as well that his horses are well able to follow up despite getting clobbered by the handicapper, and their quick turnarounds aren't an issue. She stays in this grade as well, which is always something I look out for. Keith Donoghue rides, ticks all the boxes for me. I don't need to overcomplicate that, I don't think. We'll move on then to the 740 at Bellewstown, the Pat and Eddie Smith Memorial Handicap. And this is over the 3 miles, longest race on the card. Fame After the Glory, who's been mixing it in handicap hurdles as well as the cross-country discipline. This could be a pipe opener for another tilt at one of the many 24 cross-country races next week at the Punchestown Festival, like you were saying earlier on, Dec. Another field of 12. Your favourite, by the looks, being Work for a Dime or Tankerstown Diva, depending on who you bet with. Both of them trading at around 3-1. Who do you like here?
Oh, I think Milk Market is jumping off the page here. Was dropped out and jumping looked to struggle on the handicap debut, but like previously had shown a lot more in maidens, including the 6th of Becca Rock at Gowran last October or November. Wasn't far behind Cricora Hills in that race, up a mile for a second handicap run. Green and gold. Cricora Hills bolted up at Ace last week.
Yeah, very easy. Yeah,
it's looking like the obvious one. Tramp Like Us was 5th on handicap debut and up to 3 miles. Think Tramp Like Us going to improve and might follow Milk Market home, but yeah, I'd have to be going with Milk Market after, these are the things you look out for on this podcast every week, isn't it?
Yeah, taking all the boxes for what up and trip and
up
what
a mile now either up a mile because the horse is going to bolt up, or up a mile because the horse is so slow.
Yeah, but you're going around Bellewstown as well, though, at the same time. Like, you're up a mile. Like, if you're going to go up a mile, it may as well be around Bellewstown.
Probably get dizzy.
As usual, I'll be keeping my eye on Reversal, praying that Colin Murphy has a winner so I can start unloading on his runners any day now. I'm feeling it. But maybe not quite yet. Milk Market does tick many of the boxes, as you said there, Dec. I would probably tentatively agree with you. It's not a race I had a massive opinion on. And the next race,
I only bet, so I had a bet on Milk Market.
All right, okay. You had a bet, okay.
I had a bet earlier,
yeah. So Milk Market and Run for Harry. There's probably a little tricksy for you, because I know people have been asking for our strongest selections at the end of each card, which we'll get to now in a moment. Just in case, Dec, do you have a selection in the concluding bumper at Bellewstown?
I don't have a selection, but I think it could be a very informative bunker. It's a tricky little heat. Like, you have Jersey the Brosse in there, second to Jingo Blue and a point to point before third to Spartan Glory. And Spartan Glory won that bumper Fairy House actually the day in Collins Rafi and Jouster, and won. I thought Spartan Glory ran a good race for a long way on his hurdling debut in the Grade 2 at Fairy House. Now, I don't know if he finished in the end, but he looked to have a chance turning in. That was to make your hurdling debut in the Grade 2. Was Gentong Enki, he was 5th in the maiden behind Predator's Gold. That was at Punchestown earlier on in the season. And then there was another horse, which is the one. Sorry, just lost it there. Oh, Adragul, yeah.
Gavin Cromwell.
Second on hurdling debut. That's on he's dropping back into a bumper. I can't pick one, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this bumper.
Well, I'd say Adragul probably surprise connections given 66-1 and dropping back into a bumper. That would more than happy to be that my selection there at 9-4. Alcade, I thought very much took the eye on pedigree by being See the Stars out of an unraced sister to Tagruda. And you're rocking up. Imagine breeding that and rocking up in a bumper. Bellewstown, in all respect. Not what. It was a half sister to Tagruda, I think. I don't think. Tagruda was by See the Stars. You would have thought that was a tap in as to be a decent horse as a youngster, but obviously not. Obviously, as backward as anything, and now rocking up in bumpers at 33-1. But you never know; it could improve with time. No, I would be sticking with Adragul. As you said, I love horses coming back into bumpers and from maiden hurdles, and it's Gavin Cromwell in the bumper. That's he only runs as good ones as we know in bumpers now, Dec. So just before we move on then to rattle through the Wexford card, I'd say our strongest selections there. We'd nothing really in the first. I'm very keen on Run for Harry in the 5:20. You're keen enough. Actually, none of us were pretty keen on the 555, were we? I don't think so.
Not really, no.
Hmm.
And I'm not putting up at 7 to Forsha.
Yeah, fair. Break the boundary coming back from his hunter chase at Cork in the 6:30. We both really liked him. Could even be Nap at the top material. We will see. And then the 7:05 deck. Were you? No, I don't think so. It was the 7:40 you were loving, Milk Market. Yeah. So there's a recap of the selections at Bellewstown. We'll move very quickly, deck, onto Wexford then. And guess what is there to greet us at Wexford? A mare's maiden hurdle. Because of course it is. So we're moving on to Thursday at Wexford. Mare's Maiden Hurdle, and it is Jokers and Clowns. Hard to trust now after a refusal and a nowhere coming in between a runner's up spot at Gowran. She could be another expensive one to follow, but obviously Gavin Cromwell has Shanna Clune in there with Keith Donoghue riding. I would imagine Cromwell is going to take this race, deck, but which one do you think?
Oh, I think probably Groovy Kind of Love.
Okay.
She was fifth to Queen of Bourbon at Nace earlier on the season before second to Staffordshire. No, strong form.
Yeah.
Strong form to be carried in here. Also, Hardy Zanny, she did disappoint the last day, but her previous form was quite solid without winning. Mostly in bumpers or all in bumpers. So I think she'll run a big race if she can jump, but Groovy Kind of Love for me.
Yeah, it was a weak maiden hurdle, but trying to follow home the likes of Staffordshire Knott was almost pretty much an impossible task. And I suppose, given the profile of mares that she's running against her here, it's probably going to be a relatively straightforward opportunity for her. But I would say that if Jokers and Clowns did come back to some sort of form when she did finish second at Gowran Park, obviously a point-to-point winner, I wouldn't be ruling her out with any degree of certainty, especially on a bit of slightly better ground. But yeah, Groovy Kind of Love or Jokers and Clowns, I say be one of them for me, but it's probably not a betting heat. Moving on to the 440 deck. The Visit Wexford rated novice hurdle, and an old friend of yours here topping the weights, Jericho De Bomb, had a very good season for Philip Fenton. Maybe unlucky not to win more than he actually has. And another former Nap at the top down the bottom there, Give Him the Honour, who wasn't very good last time out after a pair of third place runs. Only 5 runners, but very competitive. Who do you like?
Yeah, look, Give Him the Honour is actually a pound wrong at the weight, so that's what turned me off here. I actually like Jericho De Bomb, even though he's top weight, and he is only a 5-year-old, but he's getting stronger all the time. I remember when the race he ran at Listowel, I think, early on in the season, where he was brought down at 66 to 1. He was staying on, but he looked quite weak. He's just got stronger and stronger as the year has gone on, and he's won twice. He knows his job now. I can see him winning this, even though he has to concede weight to the rest of the whole field.
Yeah, Niall Moore gets on very well with him as well. And look, 113, like, you wouldn't be ruling him out of a general handicap off 113. Like, if he's rocking up with that at one of these summer festivals, as you said, your Listowels or Killarneys or somewhere like that, even anywhere down the country, really, I would probably tentatively agree with you there as well. Cloudy Tuesday just doesn't have enough form in the book. Sam McGee, overall quite disappointing, I think. And then the man in the boots, after 2 wins but hasn't been seen in quite a long time, was well beaten at Perth in September. This could just be a sighter back from, and he's already beaten Give Him the Honour at Ferryhouse. The only maybe question is coming back to yielding to soft ground. Like, all his best form is on heavy, but he does have previous form to kind of, he does handle decent enough ground. So yeah, be Jericho De Bomb as well for me there, Dec. Moving on to the 5:15, the 3 mile trio Ella handicap hurdle. 9 runners here, Dec. So definitely smaller fields here than we have had at Bellewstown. Not uncommon for Wexford though. Tranquil Sea finally got his day in the sun, got his win after 2 runner-ups, probably deserved. Could see him being a short enough order for this race. Do you think he's the one to be here?
I do, yeah. Look, he finally got his head in front after placing a lot and giving it a good go. he's the type to just win another one now after winning, I think.
Yeah.
He was knocking on the door for a long time, but I think you go in again. The other one of interest is playing our battered. He's quite consistent. He was second the last day off 86. He has gone up £2, but I think he'll run another good race. But no, I think Paul Nolan at Wexford, Tranquil Sea, he'll follow up.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have said it better myself. It kind of has that almost that Z-band profile where it's just taken him a couple runs to get his head in front. And now that he probably will go in again. It should be hard to beat there. Tranquil Sea. Moving on to the 550 beginners chase. So we're finally covering a chase on this podcast. The Galway Gallivanter for Cian Buckley and Gavin Cromwell in here. Conron for first run for Martin Brazel as a 10-year-old. Hasn't been seen in, I think, about 2 years. I think Jesse Harrington was used to train him. Decent enough hurdler back in his day, but it's been quite a while since we've seen him. Bricelli's Vice Chiefs Kingdom in there as well. And then a few duck eggs and a few that you probably couldn't really give a chance to. The Galway Gallivanter and Clear the Clouds Dec. Which one do you like?
I think it's between them. Those two. I think on Thursday it'll be Clear the Clouds, but as the year goes on, the Galway Gallivanter will advance past him. Clear the Clouds, he won off 99 over hurdles. He achieved a rating of 105. He's only a 6-year-old. The Galway Gallivanter is only a 5-year-old. He won off 90 at Cork in November. He was then second off 98 last month. I think Clear the Clouds might get the better of him. Assuming they're both off, I think Clear the Clouds gets the better of him on Thursday, but I can see definitely the Galway Gallivanter will pick up races.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the Galway Gallivanter did run well though. Even with the stablemate in there, be quite interesting. I couldn't bring myself to have a bet now, but I'd probably be slightly spying the other way, despite Cian Buckley on the Galway Gallivanter. I think he might just be. I think he's just looking for a fence now at this stage. He's definitely fit. Only 11 days since his last run. I know Clear the Clouds obviously 3 weeks there as well, and is coming off a win. But I'm just wondering, if you do win over hurdles, would you not stay over hurdles? But anyway, they're going chasing with him straight away. I'd probably take the Galway Gallivanter, but again, it's not a race that I'd be getting too involved in. Next is the Irish Stallion Farms Mares Beginners Chase at 6:22. So look at 2 mile tree. Brandy Love, you couldn't trust her as far as you could throw her. In terms of the way she's been chasing. This is a gilt-edged opportunity, though.
Surely she wins this.
Surely, yeah. Like, you'd be the only thing I could see happening, and it'd be the only way, because she does have chinks in her armor. If Dying to Win just got out on the front end and pinged and went fence to fence. Now, she only ran the other day and she ran fine. I think she was third on Chase debut. So we know she's fit, and she does like these kind of tight tracks, and she does, go off very, very hard. The only thing I could see stopping Brandy Love getting beat is if her fast, slick jumping from the front maybe causes a mistake out of her, but that's probably the only. I don't know if you'd be taking a bet at that happening now.
No, I don't know. Like, she was second to Night and Day the last day at Naas, but she was ahead of
allegedly.
Well, yeah.
The only race ran that day.
Yeah. But she was ahead of Jumping Jet. Surely
she could have just jumped. She could have gone on the hurdles course and taken a few hurdles. We don't know.
the winner of Night and Day. We don't know. We don't know. Yeah. She just emerged to the shock of everyone.
Yeah, no, it is probably Brandy Love to win that race, but again, she's going to be very, very short, and I wouldn't even be putting her in your bets with the, I don't know, what's on Thursday, the Man City I wouldn't even put her in a double with Man City, put it that way. No, the 6:52 is the Wexford Veterans Handicap Chase. Only 6 runners. Veterans handicap chases in Ireland are extremely rare. We usually don't really need them. Although Revelin Pressure did run him one at Limerick at Christmas time and won one. And despite being 12 years old, has probably been in the form of his life.
Great form.
Yeah, Shadow Rider obviously in very good form as well. Has to give plenty of weight away. The rest of them, maybe with the exception of Matt Galoney, postcodes for form, really. So who do you like here?
Probably Shadow Rider. Like, I don't think he's the most straightforward, but he is back in form over hurdles. He won off 125, and then he won off, I was second off 135, in here off 133. Although he's top weight, yeah, I think it's a small enough field shadow rider for me.
Yeah, I'd actually be with Revel and Pleasure. 5 runners, 6 runners, 8 runners, 6, and then 6 runners. Those last 4 races where there've been 8 runners or less, or first, second, third, second, is 2, and even that doesn't even include a second out of 13 at Thurlist. His only bad run was on very testing ground in a decent enough handicap chase behind T Components, yes, where he was 18-1. He's not going to be any price like that here. Back into Veterans Company, in fantastic form. I'd have it between him and Shadow Rider, but I'd be on the other side. I'd be on Revel and Pleasure side there, in the Veterans Chase. The 722 then, Dec, is another Mares Race, the Mares Bumper, to conclude the card. Is there anything you like in the finale at Wexford?
Sure. Do you not know?
Go on.
At Royal Hollow, Andy Slattery.
String of seconds and a first-time hood, which suggests a bold front-running ride is likely, I would have thought. What do you think?
Yeah, look, she's been second in Toto 2, Jet Setting, and Tarnova. Tarnova's trained by Mick Halford. She ran okay in the listed bumper at Navan on Troytown Day, or I don't know whether it was Troytown. It was that weekend, and it's all Troytown, the 4-3 are all into one. Now, yeah, I'd have to go with Royal Hollow. Yeah,
probably your easiest opportunity for a while, but this is probably still going to be a competitive enough race. I see Paul Nolan is saying Paul Nolan at Wexford, a 6-year-old having a rules debut, but was a point winner in Far From Nowhere. So interesting enough runner there, but a bit old to be kind of getting started under rules, you would have thought, after winning a point to point as a 5-year-old. But no, you're probably right. Royal Hollow should take a little bit of beating. Joyous Royal, obviously, by Mass Marble there for Henry de Bromhead and Rob Core. Could take warm order given connections. What's your biggest fancy down at Wexford there, Dec? We kind of somewhat flew through Wexford there, but there wasn't anything jumping off the page for me now. If I had to choose one though, it would probably be the Nolan horse. I think. I'd probably be Jericho de Bomb in the 440, and then Tranquil Sea in the 515. They'd be my 2 strongest on the card, I'd say.
Yeah, there's a little double.
Nap at the Tap then, or are we
going back to Philip Rodwell's horse that ran?
I think we go back. I think we run it back with Philip. Yeah.
Definitely the most interesting.
Yeah, I think we're very much on it. So break the boundary in the 6:30 at Bellewstown on Wednesday is the Nap of the Tap for top 44. And that brings us to an end of the show. 2 cards covered, and we will get this uploaded now, and for everyone to listen to it. I don't know why I'm even saying that, because obviously it'll be uploaded by the time you guys listen to it. But don't forget to join us back next week, where we have a trio of podcasts. As I said, Punchestown, Dec, as you said, the grade 1s on the first day, and then it will be back for the handicaps on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then back for then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, is it? I think. Or got something along those lines.
The grade 1s on Tuesday, the grade 1s for the week, and Tuesday on Sunday night we're going to record. And then we have Tuesday night we're going to record for
Thursday, Friday,
left of Wednesday and Thursday, and then Thursday night we'll record for what's left of Friday and Saturday.
That's hurting my head, but okay. What you said, Dec, we'll get it back out. I think you've already took a tweet out about it, but we'll stick out another one. Just keep sharing and following. That's all we ask for anyway. Very much enjoyed that there, Dec. That was top 44, and until next time, guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye.